Hey everyone, this is Chala Dinkoy, CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert, coming to you live with another edition of Tuesday Tea Time with Chala. I'm a little bit earlier than usual because of the backlog from visiting my parents, my vacation, and Labor Day yesterday. I have back-to-back interviews today, and I'm so lucky, and this week. So I'm just doing this a little bit early. Hope you all had a great long weekend. As I said, last week, we were visiting my parents after a very long COVID, and it was great. It was great to see them. I grew up in a French city called Montreal, and it used to be this where we were a sleepy little suburb called very similar to where I live in Toronto, which is like 20 minutes from downtown, but it's called Dollard des Ormeaux. And the first morning that we woke up, Logan and I, there was a police siege on our street where there was some sort of drug trafficking problem going on. And we're like, where are we? Like, what part of the city are we in? Because we're not used to that. It's so sleepy. Like, you can't even meet anyone if you go out on the street. It's so quiet. But that's what we woke up to. But and then we were like, they wouldn't allow anyone. They barricaded the street. They wouldn't allow anyone to come in or go out because the person was still at large. And they were looking with dogs, and there were like men with policemen with like a SWAT squad. It was crazy, really exciting stuff, but no good because I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't go out. My parents were stuck home all day. It was kind of ridiculous, but other than that, we had a great time. So I am back and I am talking about content creation. And I'm just telling you how I wasn't even able to get to this usual content that I do. This is just one form of content that I do, which is the Tuesday Tea with Chala. And my team was like, where's the Tuesday tea last week? And I was like, I'm with my family. I haven't done it because there's just too many people in the house. In fact, I had like one sales call while I was there just because I didn't want to avoid it. I didn't want to miss it. And it was a good one. But my dad, God bless him, 86 years old, kept wandering behind me. Like, and the guy was like disconcerted. I guess he was trying to ignore it. He was good about it. But then, I hear like, the TV is turning on in the other room, and I hear all sorts of sounds and beeps, and it was just so funny. It's hard. It's hard to do it when you're home. But now I'm alone. Logan's at school. Yay, he's back. I'm so happy. He's not as happy, but yeah, they're in person. So let's pray that it stays that way. So getting back to content creation, it is a nightmare for a lot of my clients, and that's why this week. Wait, let me take a sip because it wouldn't be Tuesday tea time, right? It is a source of aggravation and sometimes terror for a lot of business owners. And I'm not even talking about the small ones. I'm talking about even the bigger ones. And they feel like this is something they can outsource. They feel like their time is spent somewhere way better. And, I get that. I totally get that. But if you're still interested in building a legacy and building a brand and building a name for yourself and grabbing that niche of owning whatever the space it is that you've become an expert in, I want you to do yourself the favor of actually stepping out and doing part of your own content. Just part, the visibility part. So let me first give you some advice if you're terrified. Now, why are people terrified? Well, first, they don't know what to say. They just don't know what to say. And there is a reason for that, and we'll get to that. The other is they say they have no time. But anytime I hear that anybody has no time for anything, it's because it's not a priority for them. And it's not a priority because they don't understand why it's so important. Either they don't understand or they're ignoring it because it's so uncomfortable for them. Which brings me to the third reason why, why they're terrified is because they're so afraid of rejection. And increasingly, content is one of the most passive forms of marketing that you can do. And they're afraid of rejection, even on a passive front, where they're not actually in somebody's face. They're recording something or writing something for someone to view either in real time or later, but it's passive. I mean, how low can the stakes be in terms of rejection, but yet they are still worried about looking stupid, appearing a certain way that they don't want to. They're afraid of losing, their brand equity. They're afraid of losing customers. It's fear is driving them away from creating content, especially the written word, or especially what they have to say. They feel like, is it adding value? Is it creating just more noise and nonsense in the market? And how do I stand out? So these are all the questions and the problems that people have. So let me take you through how to help you if you're in this boat. So the first is you have to do a mindset shift. And I've done this with a lot of clients who have experienced the same. And let me try to move the camera so that it will follow me, because my back hurts when I sit. And by the way, I've been working out almost every day since the gyms have been open, so I cannot be more grateful. But that means I'm a little bit more sore, and hopefully we'll get back to my fighting fit shape within the next couple of months, hopefully. But okay, so let's get back to why you're so afraid of creating content and what the mindset shift has to be around that. So if you think it's a useless waste of time, I want you to reposition it in your mind as thought leadership, which means that if you look at any subject that you follow and anybody that you respect in that subject, you will see that they've exhibited some form of thought leadership and visibility and talked about whatever it was that subject was in front of other people, and or expressed their opinions about that topic in front of other people. So if you look at what your content is as useless waste of time, that's you'll never get over the fear of wanting to do it, or you'll never get over the reluctance of wanting to do it. So if you reposition it as thought leadership, that's a whole different ballgame. Here's another mindset shift is, what if you feel like what you have to say is drivel, meaning it's of no value, which is kind of the same as what I was talking about with the useless waste of time. If you can reposition it as, every time I do these videos, every time I speak about a topic, every time I think about and research a topic, write about it, blog about it, post about it, or do even a keynote about it or a training about it, I'm honing my expertise, and I'm getting better at what I do. I'm getting more articulate at what I do. I'll never forget, I started a new job with a toothpaste company in my marketing days, and it was called Arm & Hammer, and it was quite technical because it had to do with, they had an actual DIN, which is the drug number. They actually had a whole bunch of ingredients that were, chemicals and drugs, and I had to go to and do a trade show, and I had to say what was in the ingredients and why it was different and what the product was so many times, because I was asked by so many people over that 2 days, that I actually became an expert in the damn product, in what they were selling, almost overnight. So that's the same theory as, if you feel like what you're saying is drivel, I want you to reposition it to yourself as getting better and honing in on your messaging, on what you help them with, what you help your audience with. So here's the last mindset shift that I'm going to talk about, is if you feel like, instead of creating content that your clients need you to work on their business instead of working on content, I want you to reposition this as, when you're creating content, you're helping future clients, and you're helping future clients with that problem, but you're also helping future clients to find you, to find the help. Because recently happened, and it actually happened today when I had another sales call today, and it was really great. What they said was, Chala, what you offer is something that I didn't even know that I needed. So I didn't even know that there was someone who did what you do, which is figuring out the super niche, the strategy, the whole, the marketing strategy instead of all the traditional routes of trying to get new sales, of hiring new sales reps or hiring, doing Facebook advertising or LinkedIn advertising or boosts or whatever it is. People simply just don't even know that you exist and your expertise exists if you're not out there and talking. And that's how my content reached this person, and that's how I got in front of this person. So that's why, if you could reposition, my clients need me, I can't be working on content right now, to I'm helping future clients. I'm helping future clients find me. That's the way to go. Okay. The second point about being able to stop being terrified of creating content and making it flow seamlessly for you is there is more than just one form of content. So there's the speaking kind, there's the video kind, there's the verbal kind, like or just the written kind. So you can create content and you can showcase your expertise in so many ways. And I've named some of them. You could do a blog, and you can do a newsletter, and you can do, videos like this. You could do live streams, you can do education, you can do taped, you can do anything at all. You could do whiteboard videos, white papers, whatever it is you can do. And just pick the one that's most comfortable for you. It's taken me a long time, and I have COVID to thank for the live stream comfort, because I was not able to just hop on a call and just go and just, and I do have a method to my madness. Obviously, I research the topic, I figure out what I'm going to talk about that week. It's either comes up through, organically through conversations with my clients or with prospects, or I see a really great research or article because I'm constantly reading about my profession, and or something newsworthy happens and topical, and then I figure out what is the topic that I'm going to talk about that week, and then that becomes my live stream topic for Tuesday Tea Time, and then that becomes also most of the time my blogging topic, and then the blogging topic then goes into that week's newsletter. So I've got it all into a system, and for me, it's become more comfortable to actually do live streams than it ever was before COVID, where I was so bundled up. I mean, I still get nervous about the very short videos that I have to do. So it's been very educational. And now it's saying that it looks like my Mac will sleep soon unless plugged into a power outlet. Okay, that's not good. That's never happened to me during one of these. So I'm going to go quickly, and hopefully, if it cuts out really quickly, I'm not going to be able to get through this, but let's go through it. Okay, so embrace the comfortable. If written word is your comfort zone, do that. If video is your comfort zone, or if it's just voice, do that. Number 3 is niche down. If you don't have a specific target to speak to, and you don't know what problem you solve for them, and that means you don't have a niche. That means you are not able to speak to, you don't know who you're speaking to, you don't know what you're speaking about. That's why you're afraid of doing it, because one of the fears was, I don't know what to talk about. So the next tip that I have is tell pain rescue stories. Tell stories of people in that pain, in that target that you've helped, how you helped them, and what the result was. It is as simple as that. We map that out with clients in one sitting, and we can come up with a whole year's worth of pain sound bites coming out of their client's mouth to do as content around the topic that they're an expert in. And lastly, the only thing that I have to say is, please don't cop out and hire out. At first, I want you to start to do it yourself, because one, you are the message. Your face is the brand, and I don't care if you have millions of dollars, hundreds of employees, thousands of employees, you are still the brand, you are still the message, right? So I want you to establish your own voice, your own comfort level of some way to get out there with your message, because you have the war stories, you have the experience, you have the knowledge. And once you figure out the way in which it's going to come out of you into the market, that is what you need the help with, is how do you take what you know and what you can do, hone it into a niched message, and then get it out there on a regular basis. And the last piece of advice is, if you're not going to do it regularly, don't do it at all. Because even though you might think that it's just great to do it like once in a while, it really doesn't work as well. It doesn't, I think, work at all. I think it works to the reverse. If all of a sudden people are sending you like 3 months, 6 months, or once in a blue moon kind of messaging, because it's like, well, you know, obviously this is not something you do on a regular basis. Obviously you're not there constantly in my background. You're not the kind of expert that I think about in the, you know, white space in my mind when I run into that issue. So these are all the ways that I think you can stop being afraid of creating your own content. And so go out there and do your thing and say what you mean, say what you feel and what you think about the issue that you help people with. And people will respond to that, good or bad, but they'll respond to that, because in marketing, anonymity is silence, and you don't want that. All right, guys, before my computer shuts down, which has never happened. I don't know what's happening. All right, have a good Tuesday, everyone. Take